I'm TerryDavidMulligan, and this is the Mulligan Stew podcast, which we ask you to consider subscribing to or liking. Most of the guests on the podcast, I don't have to do much reminding about because you know them or they've come to your attention. Here's a guest that I've been following for quite some time, and I'm not alone in that. The thing about it is Ariel Posen is a Canadian, formerly from Winnipeg, now in Montreal. Yes, he has a profile in Canada, but he's doing really well in Europe and now in America. And it's because he has something very special, of rare quality. He's a brilliant guitarist, really, one of the best new guitarists, but he's not like the Wayne, flashy, none of that stuff. His tone is brilliant, tasteful, understated, and when he wants to, like there's a track called Clawhammer, and he's just all over his wham. He's an amazing guitarist. But what's being discovered now is how good a songwriter he is, and singer, and harmonizer. I'm going to try to make the point that he is a complete package. We'll see if he agrees. I came across Ariel Posen when he played with Joey Landreth and the Landreth brothers. And he and Joey are equally brilliant. And to have two guitar players like that in one band is just phenomenal. That's why my head turned right away. I went, what is this? This is fantastic. Ariel Posen has a yet-to-be-released EP called Downtown, following up his last album called Headway. It's rootsy. It's Americana, taking the next step. There's nobody else doing what he's doing right now. He is quite remarkable, a singular voice. He's not just a guitar master gunslinger. He's tasteful. He's got his own chops, his own sound. And live on stage, when he tours, yes, he is laid back, but when he plays, he just rocks the room. By the way, go looking for Ariel Posen and Corey Wong, both guitarists. It's Corey that's driving that bus, but he realizes he's got a kindred soul in Ariel Posen, and they did a track together called Spare Tire. Funky, funky, funky stuff. So, this is the Mulligan Stew podcast with Ariel Posen. We'll have him back again because the EP is yet to come out. There's some tracks there I want to play for you. And just keep an eye on him because he's going to be a star. But he explains what he's doing. He didn't set out to be a star. He set out to be the guy that he is right now, Ariel Posen. I'm TerryDavidMulligan, and if you're watching us on our YouTube channel called, strangely enough, TerryDavidMulligan, is Ariel Posen, who's kind of, first of all, you've changed since the last time we did this. I can't remember if you were as clean shaven or if you were bushier or pandemic bushwhacker, but you're in a different kind of room. Where are you? Are you hanging?
I'm in the same place we chatted last time. Yeah, my home studio here.
Are you the same person?
That I can't confirm, but the cosmetic visual part is.
Do you feel like the same person?
I think I do. I think we all had moments where we probably felt like shells of ourselves or different versions of ourselves, but I feel like the same. Yeah.
It's fair to say that Winnipeg in central Canada does hunker down for the winter. They know how to hunker down because when winter comes, you hunker. Did they do any better than we on the coast? Were people still of falling to that virus?
Well, I'm actually a fairly new resident here in Montreal now, but I have been back in Winnipeg a handful, and Winnipeg's all open. They're doing the we're back at it thing. Weather has been horrible. They still, that's just Winnipeg for you. You can still have winter. I remember my when I graduated from grade 12 at the end of May or beginning of June, it snowed that day and everyone was in their prom dresses and suits in the snow. And that's just Winnipeg for you. So you never know what kind of year you might get when it's like, well, we might get spring or we might just have winter till May. So I think that might be one of these years. But Montreal here, cases are still bad. Masks are still needed, and weather's been grim, but it's nice now.
Did Love take you to Montreal?
Yes.
Good. This is good. This is very good. When some people end up in other parts of the world, and I think it always comes out, well, like for example, just did an interview with Alex Cuba, who came from Cuba, and he ended up in Smithers, BC, which is you got to go look hard on a map to find Smithers.
I've been there.
Right?
Smithers is beautiful, yeah.
And so he flies from Smithers to New York and does his gigs and does his tours and goes back to Smithers. I didn't even have to ask the question. He's there because he fell in love with the Smithers girl. Simple as that. That's it.
That's amazing.
There you go. I'm looking at the Downtown EP. 5 songs.
Yeah.
I'm going to presume that there were more, or perhaps if you had time or whatever, everything had worked out, you might have done an extended. But you got Headway, you got Mile End, you have a lot of tunes to pull from.
Yeah. So, pardon me. Last year, 2021 was a busy. It was a heavy release year for me. So yeah, Headway came out, and we did an acoustic version of it. I put out in a single with my friend Corey Wong, and then
I got to talk to you about that.
Put out Mile End. Yeah, and then Mile End was at the end. So it was like a lot of music, but it was just like I was at home. I just had all this time, and I was just feeling more inspired, and we put out more music. That being said, I'm always writing, and I have so much material, even for the next record. But you write in batches, or I do. I write in batches so that, what I think are the strongest songs make the cut. And then the songs that I don't think are good enough either get shelved, or there's collections of songs where I'm like, you know what? I actually really like these songs, but I don't think I hear them with this bigger collection of songs that will be the record.
Okay.
And I still wanted to do something with them. So this EP, I'm very aware that I had a heavy release year last year. So knock on wood, the plan for this year is just more so making up for the lost time of touring.
City lights don't shine as bright as they used to. And the streets don't feel the same as when they were new. Feel invisible in a crowd. I fall asleep to the sound. I'm never gonna drown it out. Every time I'm back, I'm reminded that love lives downtown in my heart. 2 more stars on the train line to 4th Avenue. Where I first broke down, got lost, but then I found you. And even though it's dark at night, you can see it in a different light. Every time I'm back, I'm reminded that love lives downtown
the things that have, as I said in the beginning, the things that might have changed, are you a different person? Headway found an audience. God bless them. They found you. Everybody has to fight for their space on radio and video. And what you do is unique to yourself. There's others working in the same venue, but basically the thing that impressed me most about you when I first met you was you had a focus and a function, and you knew exactly kind of where you were going. Things would affect it along the way, but you seemed to know exactly what you had a plan. Did you have a plan? Yeah, I
did. Yeah, and the plan was set out before the pandemic started, and it just shifted. It just became, okay, well, how can we execute this plan the way we wanted to while not being able to do any traveling, going places and stuff like that. So in a lot of ways, you always think that, the impact really happens when you're on the road and you're out there doing stuff, which is true, but we just found ways to make impact digitally, which is what everyone was doing that decided to actually go through with putting a record out in that time. And it was okay. It's easy to think about how tough and annoying it was, but there's a lot of benefits to it, like time and availability. Other than my album, and all the music I put out, just everyone was at home and everyone was available. So there was so much more room for collaborating and doing, hey man, or hey, you call whoever and would you be up for playing this on this, or want to write or something? Like people that would never usually have the time or availability for it. We're just like, yeah, I'm at home. Let's do it.
Was there a time, fill in some blanks for me here, because I need to know the whole of the story. There was a time when they came to you for your guitar licks, for your guitar work, and your harmony vocals. At what point did they come to you for your songs, where they started to concentrate on the songs that you were writing?
As soon as I started giving I started writing like when I was 18, 19. I had a band with some pals and we'd play some of those songs, and I'd on and off write with other bands that I was in and other people, but I never put out any of my own music until I started me as a solo artist. So my first record, How Long, is, the first song was called Fade. I put that out. That was really the first time with a bit of an audience and a following where I said, hey, here's some music. That's mine. It's me singing. It's my song. And then I just kept it going from there. So definitely later in the career is when I started putting out songs, because my career before that was just hired gun.
Yep.
Guitar guy.
Yep.
So yeah, that's definitely when the shift was about the songs. But I still am doing, hey, we need some guitar on this, or we need some singing on this, or can you produce this, or can you write with this artist? Like all that stuff is there, but now it's more, instead of like, hey, yeah, so we need a banjo track, we need a rolling arpeggio clean track on this. Instead of them usually telling me what to do if they want me to perform or record on a song, it just says, just do the Ariel thing, just do your thing on it. And that's fun. I do enjoy that.
Doing Ariel. Okay.
Okay. Whatever that means.
By the way, I'm going to throw a cheap journalism ploy at you. I'm going to throw one of your song titles back as a question. So from Headway, you've got Coming Back, Heart by Heart. I love these tracks, and play them. Carry Me Home.
Thank you.
What Are We Doing Here Now I See? Actually, there's two tracks. First one I want to ask about, Did You See It Coming is the name of the track. But my question to you is, did you see all of this coming? Was this a vision or what?
Try
to be humble.
Success is relative, and to everyone else, it means something else. To me, I'm not like obviously I'm a goal-minded person. You want the work that you put in to be, it's just like you just want it to be appreciated or at least enjoyed by people. And I'm not like oh, this needs to be number one on radio, because this is not going to happen. It's not that kind of music. I don't think that way. I'm also not going around thinking this is the album that's going to get us playing 3 nights at the Ryman. It's just like, that's not going to happen. And that's just not how I think either. It's just like, hey, can we keep growing the audience? Can we get people, just put more ears on it? And yeah, we did that. And,
okay,
I always believe in like, just take your time. It doesn't have to be an overnight thing.
And it's admirable. And I like that about you. I really do. Did you see it coming?
I did see, I think I saw a positive response coming, because I felt very passionate and positive about the music, and I put a lot of work into it. So
okay.
I hope that.
So you've inherited the family business, navigating parents and wishes, but you want to start your own place. Slow and steady always makes the difference, but you got a little too much energy in it to finish the race. Isn't it just expected, the things you can never predict? Isn't it unexpected, what you always saw coming? What you always saw coming. So you've got yourself one hell of a vision, selling your parents' records on commission. It's not much of a plan. You lose your wallet and you leave your ambition. As far as statements, it's not much of a mission, but you made a new friend. Isn't it just expected, the things you can never predict? Isn't it unexpected, what you always saw coming? What you always saw coming? To escape, masterminding for the exact day that you hit the road. Found a city and went by a new name, but it doesn't mean that anything's changed. Now you wanna go home. Isn't it just expected, the things you can never predict? How easy it is to forget what you always saw coming, what you always saw coming.
I don't know what your family did. Were you meant to do this? Maybe you
yes.
were you meant to stand on the stage and have a follow spot?
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah, both my parents are musicians.
Okay. You like that spot? You like that spot in the light in front of the stage?
You know what? It doesn't even matter. I just like being on stage. I like performing.
Right.
I will say that the difference between, being in a band or being a musician backing up an artist, the difference is just the rewarding feeling of like, hey, it's not that like you need the limelight or like you need that attention. It's just, wow, these people are here because they bought a ticket because my name's on it, or they're singing along to a song that I wrote at home. Like that kind of rewarding feeling is something you don't really experience with a hired gun. So, I mean, it's not like I'm going around expecting it. I don't go around. addicted to it now, but it really does make a difference. It is a special feeling to know that like your work is being it's working for you, so to speak.
It kind of helps because you're driven a bit. It's a different. It's a small D driven, but I can see that in you, right? And the need to create and the need to share that music is what goes. Maybe the more you pull back from all that hit radio and spotlight and all that stuff, the more that music's going to push forward. I think it will work in reverse. I actually think it will dawn on you. Will wake up one morning and you will have the dreams that you had along the way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think if you're writing and creating art with the intent of like blowing up and being huge and stuff, like you're probably not. It might not be coming from like the most organic and honest place.
That's it.
So I'm just trying to, the art and music I'm trying to make is just. I'm just trying to make what's genuine and honest and what.
Okay. Here's the deal. Here's the. And I don't want this to rankle you. I don't want you to get bristly on me, because I think it's important that not me, you and I back and forth, but the audience listening. Here's the thing. What is it that you're doing that is unique unto yourself and it has to be searched out to be found in some cases, but when you find it, strikes the heart? Like, what is it? Like, you know who you are. What is, if you were describing yourself to someone who, like an aunt who you haven't seen in years, what are you doing now, Ariel? Can you describe it? What is it that you're doing in your music that has finally found a home in yourself?
Well, it's like when you go to a coffee shop and you just want a coffee and they go, so what are you doing today? And you say, well, just got a rehearsal. And they go, oh, are you in a band? And you're like, here we go. The explanation that no one really quite understands. Oh, I'm an artist. I was like, oh, are you in? Oh, what's the name of that band? It's like, well, it's my name. It's like that classic thing. Anyone that's listening that is a artist knows what I'm talking about. No, if I was to explain it, I guess, I'm a singer-songwriter who definitely expresses himself with the songs and the singing, but like guitar playing is a big focus of what I do. I don't make guitar music. It's definitely not guitar music unless you're listening to my solo guitar record called Mile End, but it's guitar-driven music. Sure. That's the instrument or the tool that, helps me express myself musically. So, and that is something that people associate with me. That is what I'm known for. The people that do know me, I'd be lying if I said they knew me more so for my singing and songwriting than my guitar playing. Yeah. It's definitely the guitar playing.
You're heading out on the road. You're going to do tunes from Mile End. Tunes from possibly.
Well, maybe the thing about the Mile End is just so somber, slow.
Wait a minute, no. That's where I fell in love with Clawhammer.
A Clawhammer.
That's not somber.
Clawhammer is not a somber one, but like the whole just solo guitar is it's got a very just moody thing to it. So I'll
mark that down as Mile End. No, don't hold your breath if you're going because you're a fan of Mile End.
However, I like to throw in pieces of all those songs. Well, not all of them, but certain. I have been throwing Clawhammer in the set as a little opening, homage to like. But the way I see myself, it's a package. It's a mix of all those things. You can't have one without the other, and it's not guitar music. And it's not just singer-songwriter music with an acoustic and a voice. It's a combination of all that.
All right, let me write that down. Package. Package.
It's a package.
Let's just quote. Let me put that in quotes.
I mean, we're all packages, right?
No,
Everyone
wait a minute. Somebody has to be the package.
Oh. That's not a bad name, actually.
Okay. Pass that on to your marketing people, will you?
Okay.
The package. You did mention one of my favorite tracks of the last couple of years. We didn't mention the track, but you mentioned you and Corey Wong doing work together. And yes. Spare Tire just turned my crank. I so love that song. I so love that riff. That is a funky piece of music.
So that is different. That was really fun because that was a whole project. That wasn't, it was actually my manager's idea. And it was just another, everyone's at home and available. Let's do a thing. So I actually took your role. I was interviewing. I called up a few different friends and peers. So I had a bunch of artists who had a similar trajectory in the sense that they either started in a band or were a side man, or just like had some upcoming where they did a lot in the music industry and then they started their own solo career. So like I had City in Color, Bahamas, Begonia, Tara Lightfoot, Carly Aikens, Butch Walker, David Ryan Harris, and Corey. I hope I'm not missing anybody. I did 8 of them.
Wow.
And we did these interview series. And then at the end, I had them all do a song and I put together a band and we all recorded remotely and filmed it and put it all together. And everyone's episode, which is all on YouTube, by the way, on my YouTube, it's called Notes to Spare.
Yep.
We all did their song, right? But for the Corey one, we've been pals for a few years and we always collaborate and we've written together and we sit in with each other whenever we're playing and we just put together a song. So he sent me some chords. I kind of spliced it and made an arrangement and then I sent it to the drummer, bass player, then I did my stuff. And that was the only like original piece that came out with it. So it was like, you know what? This is kind of a really fun little track for fun that we don't have to, give it it's obviously very funky and it's way more like his style of music than mine, but like, let's just put this out. This is too fun to not put out. And it was like a great little summary thing to put out. It was fun.
Oh, you're heading out on the road.
Yeah.
You're going to do tunes from Mile End. Tunes from possibly.
Well,
maybe
the thing about the Mile End is just so somber, slow.
Wait a minute. No. That's where I fell in love with Clawhammer.
A Clawhammer.
That's not somber.
Clawhammer is not a somber one, but like the whole just solo guitar is it's got a very just moody thing to it. So I'll
knock that down as Mile End. No, don't hold your breath if you're going because you're a fan of Mile End.
However, I like to throw in pieces of all those songs. Well, not all of them, but certain. I have been throwing Clawhammer in the set as a little opening, homage to like.
Nice.
For certain songs, and there's a couple other pieces that I quote a lot as well. It's just a different,
maybe 12 bars from the title track or Four Corners or something like that.
Exactly. Okay. There's a lot of opportunity in the show, but the show is, with the guys, it's the songs, it's the singing, it's Headway, How Long, some new songs.
Can you find room for Now I See, the last song on Headway, which is my favorite?
Can I find room for it to play?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah,
if I'm coming to the gig, okay, fine, all right.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you were specifically coming out to a show, we would absolutely play it. Now that I know that it's your favorite, of course.
No, I dig the hell out of the song. I just think it's fantastic. I love everything that starts, but I love that last track. I love Now I See. The Downtown EP. Now this being April, May the 20th, May 21st.
Yeah.
Has Downtown, the EP, been released now?
Nope. Downtown, the EP does not come out until the end of July.
Good God, man.
Oh, yeah, we're spreading it out because we're not really.
Wait a minute. If I go and see you play in May or June or somewhere, and I go to the merch table, I won't find the Downtown EP, or Downtown EP.
Well, it's available for pre-order now.
Okay.
If it's May 20th, it will be available for pre-order. However, there are already 2 songs out. So Downtown came out at the beginning of April.
Yeah.
And depending what day this is, I'm assuming
it's the 21st. It's 21st.
The 21st. So yesterday, the second single, Always Saw Coming, came out. And I'm really actually excited about that one because it's a very big departure from my sound. It's still me. But it's just like the production wise, it's just, I don't know. I'm really curious to see how people respond to it and that was a big part of this EP is like the songs. I really love them, but I felt like a couple of them just didn't have a cohesiveness to the rest of the songs that will be on the album. So it made more sense to just have a little project of those songs. And this is one of them that specifically falls into that category. I really love the song. I wrote it with my friend Leith Ross, who's absolutely incredible, and it's a fun song, and it's different. So, well, I guess if anyone's listening, maybe you've heard it already in the last 24 hours.
Let's play it now.
All right.
Ariel Posen, my guest on Mulligan Stew, the podcast, and Mulligan Stew Radio, CKUA. Listener supported, donor supported, closing on 100 years. The YouTube party called On the Road. Yes. Was that somebody in the audience shooting that? How did that happen?
Well, no. For that tour, which was the maritime leg of the Bahamas tour that we've been opening, which has been a blast. Thanks again to AFI for having us. No, I had my own videographer and photographer.
Okay.
/ merch guy with us. So that was all our guy that was filming. I just thought it'd be fun. I've been seeing a lot of people kind of vlogging lately. I feel like that's becoming more popular. And I was thinking about it whenever, I get to see a behind the scenes look of my favorite bands and artists. Like give me more of that. I want to see behind the curtain. So that we did it.
Did you and Afi Irvinen get to jam together? Did you play together? Because you're both distinctive guitarists, as it were.
We did not jam on stage.
Did you hate each other? What happened?
Well, no. It just didn't come up. But backstage, we jammed all the time. They always have a jam room set up they're always rehearsing or just jamming. So all the time we would end up in that room and we'd all be playing everything from Alan Jackson to my songs to Afy songs to just blueses to random anything. We'd all be switching instruments. There was a lot of jamming backstage going on for sure.
All right, this is for all the geeks out there. Nice, it's a nice term. It's not meant derogatory. Favorite guitar behind you there? Which one?
Oh,
which one? Just which one automatically calls to you?
Well, it's actually
there.
Not there right now. It's in a bag right now, but it's this mule guitar I play all the time. It's kind of the main guitar I play. Okay. And honestly, I can't pick favorites because they're all very different. They're just very different. Okay. I guess it's a matter of like, what am I doing? Then that would be my favorite for that.
Okay. Are they going to take either one of those amps behind you, or are they just for show? What's your amp?
You can't see it, but the one over here will come with me. Yeah.
Right.
Except for this first leg, because we fly out to the West Coast, so we can't take our own stuff.
And tell me about this part of the tour. Now that you've done the Maritimes, which must have been a gas, it must have been fantastic.
I always love going to the Maritimes. It was, and I mean, any tour where you get to do soft seaters and theaters the whole time, it's the most lovely way to tour. It's just nice, you know. And you know what? This was originally supposed to be in January, before the Omicron thing happened.
Yeah.
And I'm actually glad that it got, and it affected everything. It moved the tour that I start in 2 days. It pushed that back a week, and luckily my agents were able to make it all work, thankfully. But I'm actually glad it happened in the spring because the weather was just so nice, and driving around in the winter in the Maritimes I don't think would be as lovely. So no, it was great.
You went as a trio?
Yep.
Okay. And this part of the tour you're going as a trio?
Yeah, I'm 99% of the time trio.
Okay. Will you do one-off solos if you have to?
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, I did the first 2 shows of this tour. We did St. John's, Newfoundland, and logistically and honestly, financially, it just made more sense to do them by myself. And I had such a blast. Again, like in a nice, beautiful theater, like the Arts and Culture Center, just like, this is easy. I could play solo all day if it's always like this. No, it's not my preference. I definitely prefer playing with the band, but it is doable.
If you could if you could do the band of your dreams, like if money was not an object, how big would it be?
Not much bigger. I think I would just add another guitarist maybe, and I would add a keyboard player. Honestly, I would have, if I could expand the band, I would think more towards well, maybe a front of house, maybe a lighting director, a guitar tech. Those kind of things are nice.
Do you know where you're going to be? Do you know where you're going to be in October of this year?
I do. I'm going to be in Europe.
The Netherlands.
15. Yeah, Netherlands, Germany, Denmark. Again, dates that were supposed to be in February that got rescheduled.
You know, normally that would be just a dream to go and tour to that part of the world. We don't know what that part of the world will look like come October.
Yeah, no kidding.
If you read the headlines.
Big time, yeah.
They could also use some music to cheer them up as well.
That is true as well. It's just we live in unprecedented times, as they say. And that, no kidding. Who knows? Crazy time.
People will. I mean, I know you're going down the States. I see those dates. They're fantastic. You're playing some incredible rooms. Are you playing? One of my favorite clubs on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge, Sausalito?
We're in Mill Valley.
Mill Valley. That's it.
Sweetwater.
Sweetwater.
Sweetwater Music Hall.
That is a good stage, man. That stage is well used. They have a lot of people go through that, including it's kind of like the home club for Los Lobos. You know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I still haven't been there actually, but I have a lot of friends that have been through, and it's kind of one of those places. If you're not playing in San Francisco proper, that's probably where you should be playing.
There's a a used record store in Sausalito, Mill Valley. When you go in the front, they've run out of room, and there's 45s are stapled to the ceiling. But if you look to the left-hand side of the front door, there's a residual check to Chester Burnett, Howlin' Wolf from Sam Phillips, Sun Records.
Oh, like cool!
An actual check and a residual check. It's a great hang, Mill Valley, Sausalito. The whole European scope of things, because you are covering a lot of Europe. How did you build that audience? Was it through touring?
Yeah, it was through touring, and it was through the internet. I lived in Ireland a couple of years, and during my time there, I started just taking advantage of there, and I was working with a couple, guitar-based companies that did a lot on YouTube.
And they needed players.
They needed players to like demo stuff and just be an on-screen presenter, and I was doing a lot of that stuff, and I kind of just built a lot from there. And then when I first started touring, I mean, I had played in Europe and the UK, not as a solo artist before, but one of my first tours that I was offered was a UK tour with another friend of mine that a friend was tour managing and booking, and he offered, which was a great opportunity, man. And it was just like, wow, I always knew that there was just like, they love music the same as everywhere else, but they kind of love it in a different way. And it was just there was something special there. There was something
obviously
sent between them and myself. There was a connection. And I always make a point of, in non-pandemic times, at least once a year, I'm doing a UK tour. And this is going to be the biggest one yet, assuming it, it's able to happen.
So,
yeah.
How are your second and third languages?
Which ones? There aren't any, unfortunately, and that's embarrassing to admit, but especially living in Montreal now.
Yeah. Speaking of Montreal, when I was just starting radio, I was always envious of Montreal because all of the R&B soul singers that I wanted to see only played one gig, and that was in Montreal, and they would come across the border. The whole Motown, the Stax Volt, Joe Tex, all that stuff, all those big touring bands, James Brown, all of that, they were always playing Montreal and never out west, ever, ever, ever. And so, has Montreal changed? Is it still musically? Is it jumping?
Well, again, we're coming out of pretty bad COVID times, so bands are still coming. I am noticing all the bands that never came to Winnipeg, which is considered Western Canada, come here, which is it's pretty amazing. And I mean, Montreal, like Jazz Fest, which we're playing this year, Jazz Fest hasn't even happened, I think, in the last 2 years. So, I mean, the amount of great bands, assuming things go in the way they're supposed to. Oh, what's that? This question keeps popping in and then disappearing. Any Canadian dates? You want to tease us with anything? Right now, Canada is looking very light, but we are doing the Horseshoe in Toronto to end this tour.
Yeah.
Actually, yesterday, if you're listening on May 21st, we just played the Horseshoe. And then, we're doing Montreal Jazz Fest July 3rd. We're opening for Colin James.
Okay.
At M.
Any other fests? There's lots of fests out west, you know.
There's plenty, but you know what? There's so much rollover this year still.
There's the Winnipeg Festival, for example.
But all the bands that were supposed to play in 2020, they're finally being honored, those contracts now.
Sure.
And I too have a lot that are rolled over in the States. So my summer is primarily in the US, so which, it's out of all our hands. It is what it is.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, more Canada probably later in the year, and then hopefully by next summer we'll be back to normal festing.
2 questions. Why didn't you pick Big Enough as your first single off of Downtown? Because it's killer. It's killer.
Well, spoiler alert.
Killer.
It might be the 3rd single, right before the full thing comes out. Yeah, that is a fun song. Okay. That will be a single. Got it. We couldn't give all the fun away right away. We had to save it.
Are you having fun? Really? Are you happy?
I am. Yep. I am. Thanks for asking. I am. It's all about your perception, as you know.
Yeah.
And you can choose to be as miserable as you want, or you could choose to be as happy as you want in your lane, doing what you're doing in the way that we are. It has been, I know it's been tough for everybody, and I'm not fully trying to sugarcoat it, but I am happy. Things are good. I'm pleased. I'm grateful.
Do you love that line that it's a bio I saw go by? Occupying spaces between genres. I don't think of you as occupying a space between the genre. I think of you as occupying space between notes. You occupy and control the space between the notes, even though you're not playing something, you're playing something. When you decide to play is only part, is the punchline to the space between the notes.
Right.
That's what I'm digging, man.
Space is everything. It's the notes. It's not the notes you play. It's the notes you don't play.
You and Miles Davis.
There you go. Not that I would compare myself, but
have a great 2022. Whatever happens.
Hey, thanks.
Okay?
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. It's nice to catch up with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the complete package. Ariel Posen.
I hate to see you cry. You're burning, and it feels just like you're keeping the wolves at the door. Oh, you've got no way out. Are you empty? Oh, you can see the writing on the wall. When you find me, baby, you can keep me in the dark. When you find me, you don't have to show
Ariel Posen, this week's Mulligan Stew podcast. I just like what he's doing, and it's going to get better and better and better. When you see Ariel Posen go by on a playlist or something, give it a listen. Just tap it. You're going to love it. Speaking of tapping, listen, this is the Mulligan Stew podcast. If you would be so kind as to subscribe so that it arrives at your doorstep, or hit like. We just need those approvals. It's always good to have somebody give you a slap on the back. The tracks we played for you from the new EP Downtown, we played Downtown, and Always Saw Coming. There's 3 more to come. There's one there, that one track that blows the other 2 out of the water. It's the best. Mid-July, we'll be able to play all those tracks for you and not get arrested for it. Also played Heart by Heart from the Headway album that Ariel put out a couple of years ago. That great Corey Wong song that he sat in on and played the second guitar to, Spare Tire. You can see the video as well. And a thunderous guitar piece called Clawhammer from his album Mile End. Thank you for, by the way, we do have a YouTube channel. It's called TerryDavidMulligan, and the whole interview can be seen on that channel. Piece of cake. Now, coming up, I don't know if it's next week or the week after, the return of a former guest, Susan Tedeschi from Tedeschi Trucks Band. And they have 3 new albums coming out, and we're going to play tracks and talk about the first album. And we'll tell you more about it as we get closer. Watch this space. Thank you for listening. Take care.